I really hope I'm not late to the party. Hey guys, it's Amy here, back again with another video. Wombo.art has taken the world by storm in the past 2 months. What this little website AI does is that you give it a few words and it makes some abstract art for you in its place. What I've seen a bunch of authors doing on TikTok as a response is therefore take the titles of their own books and then pop it into there to see if it makes any cool book cover concepts for them. For instance, this is what I got for my novel that I've published, and then switch around, this is what I've got for the novel that I'm currently working on. Pretty cool, right? So what I'm going to be doing today is, because there are some absolutely gorgeous book covers out there and some more mediocre ones, I'm going to be taking both famous books and some of my personal favorite books. I'm going to put them into Wombo.art and I'm going to see if they make any better book covers than the actual cover designers. And then you guys can then vote in the comments or the cards as to which ones you think look better once I add like my text stuff in. I think that'll be cool, but I'm going to be reacting myself to the actual art that's going to be coming on here. Furthermore, I should add a disclaimer, you should not use Wombo.art to make your own art covers because these are AI and they're using pre-generated images to make them, which will clearly be copyrighted assets. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell. I post new videos every weekend on writing, books, and digital content for authors. If you're looking for someone to help you out with your own author platforms, I'm your girl you can call. I have 4 gigs on Fiverr that can help you out with that. I've got web audits, logo design, book cover trailers, and I've also got Instagram promo kits. Check the link in the description to book a gig with me now. I don't do book covers just yet, but maybe this will give me some practice or inspiration? Alright, so we've got 16 total books to go through. So the first off is The Gilded Ones. This is a very popular book. It was one of my favorite books of the year. I think it was like in my top 10. I'm personally a way bigger fan of what I think is the German and European cover. Now, we'll go with mystical because I think that would better fit the whole branding of The Gilded Ones. Interesting color choice. I definitely think it's very interesting, but I don't quite know if it fits the theme of the world of The Gilded Ones. I still think it's very nice. I still think we can definitely put this into some sort of cover looking thing, but personally, I think that the main cover is better. Next up, we've got an AuthorTube favorite, The Savior's Champion. I know Jenna Moresi, I think she has experimented with this before with dark fantasy, but I think we'll go with something different. They have a new style called etching. I think I want to try out the etching style for this one. Okay. That is very interesting. Again, it doesn't quite capture the same vibe as the original Savior's Champion, but I think this still looks kind of cool. There's a vague semblance of a like feminine figure like the Savior with the light on the top. I think, yeah, I don't think that's bad. Okay, the next one we've got is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This cover I think is very iconic in terms of its art style. For one of my own dystopian novels, I want to take inspiration from this one, but we'll see what Wombo.art uses it for. Because it's semi-futuristic, we'll go with the synthwave. It's probably going to look very different, but I think that's arguably the closest art style to the one on the cover, and it's taking place in the future. Well, they certainly got the scythe shape in there. This wouldn't be too bad if it was like more of a cyberpunk looking future. But the way that I read in the book, it feels like very much just like similar to Earth. I don't think it's that bad. Maybe a different color scheme though. Next up, we've got Bitter Seeds. This is the first book in the Milkweed trilogy, a very underrated trilogy. So what I think I'll do, I'll go dark fantasy for this one because there's warlocks as a part of this. And maybe this will give like a bit of an interpretation as to what the patrons of these warlocks that are involved in Bitter Seeds look like. Because I love my warlock patrons. Ooh, I genuinely think this looks really, really cool. If we do like the right sort of text placement here, this looks like genuinely really beautiful. It could almost work as like a contemporary looking novel. I really like how this looks. This is one of my favorites so far. Next up is Heroes of Olympus, one of my favorite book series. No, my favorite book series by Rick Riordan. And for this one, fantasy art. It has to be fantasy art. Oh my gosh, that looks so cool already. I can see it developing. That looks very similar, like in terms of color scheme, to the first book. I really like how that looks. I'm not quite sure how I would interpret it into like making it like an actual cover, but I think it looks genuinely really nice. I'm not quite sure how it will fare compared to the original Heroes of Olympus cover, but I like it nonetheless. Okay, this next one is Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. Now, this Steelheart is my like least favorite book cover out of the entire series. My favorite cover is Calamity, which is surprising because that's my least favorite out of that trilogy. For this, I think we will go with, I think we'll just go Synthwave again. And maybe we're gonna get some different colors out of this. Nope, it's pink again. But this is very interesting. It's already got some of the similar building styles. Like, look at the warping that's happening up the top and in the middle there. The other Steelheart definitely wins just because of how weird this one has turned out. Next one, we've got The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. This one is like my favorite book, but like the covers of it, like every single cover I have seen, I have never liked. So it was very interesting to put this in here. I think for this one, we will go with the pastel. I think that's going to better represent like the time period that The Book Thief takes place in. Okay. I think I like the way that this could become a book cover, but I don't see a lot of connection. With the way that the buildings in that look, this looks very urban to me. Like a much more urban environment than 1940s Germany. Like a city. Almost like, you know, Times Square or Tokyo. But I still think it looks good. We could definitely make some other kind of fake cover out of this. Moving on, we've got another Markus Zusak book. This is my favorite book of 2021, The Messenger. Again, something that you don't really see like a lot of good covers for. Like the cover I've got's okay, but I want to see if this one can make anything better. I think for this style we'll go with etching. Double dig deeper. Oh gosh. Okay, that would be more suited for a horror novel than like what The Messenger is, because The Messenger is indefinitely contemporary. This could still work well under the right circumstances, but it does not at all work for Markus Zusak's The Messenger. Moving on to probably the most popular book right now, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Yeah, I don't want to pick up this book. I'm not gonna let Wombo.art convince me, but I will admit that, like, the covers for Court of Thorns and Roses, they're all relatively ugly. Just because, like, the rose sort of thing, I think we'll try the ukiyo. Yeah, I can definitely see some like semi-Asian inspiration here. This would be good if it was like A Court of Thorns and Roses meets like an Avatar or something. It's very bad that I'm making like all these different assumptions. This looks very nice. I don't think it suits the vibe of A Court of Thorns and Roses, but it still doesn't look too bad. I'm wondering if the main reason that these AIs aren't getting it right is because they're just taking off the title. And like that can sometimes be very misleading, and furthermore, it's done in very abstract sorts of ways. Next up, we're using a book that is on my TBR. It's very popular and I've been really keen to read it, but I want to use this title because I think it will be very interesting. Shadow and Bone. I think for this one, we'll go with dark fantasy, because I think that's what it's aligned with. Oh my god. That is genuinely so beautiful. I genuinely think this could work as a Shadow and Bone book cover because of how gorgeous it looks. That is like literally the best cover that's come out of there so far. I'm in love. I'm in love with this. I would have picked up Shadow and Bone sooner if this was the cover for it. Okay, we got another dystopian one here. Selfless by Aviva. We will go with HD for this one. It's way more basic, but I think that better suits the dystopian world of Selfless. We literally got rocks. I mean, it suits the color scheme. This is gonna leave a lot of work for me with like my text and stuff to make it work. Want a bestseller book? Rocks. Moving on to one of my favorite book series, The Empire's Storms, of course, with Hope and Red. Love this book so much. Why am I Scottish? But I don't know which one we want to go for. I think we'll try the Baroque one. We haven't tried the Baroque one yet, so we'll try it with Hope and Red. I feel like it's gonna get something completely different, but we shall see. That is very interesting. It's definitely nothing like the actual themes for Hope and Red, or like the vibes, but that's a very interesting artwork. Yeah, this is gonna be a very interesting one. And next up we've got another one which I'm not gonna read, A Song of Ice and Fire. I do not want to read Game of Thrones, thank you very much. But for this one, I think we'll just go generic fantasy art because it's literally like bread and butter fantasy. It's like one step up in terms of Lord of the Rings in terms of generic fantasy stuff. Sorry, not sorry. Well, that's a bit on the nose. I haven't seen the TV series or anything, so I don't know what it looks like, but it's got ice and fire in there, so that's suitable, I guess. Oh boy, we got more generic fantasy. We got Lord of the Rings again. I mean, I say generic, but like this is like the epitome of fantasy, apparently. I haven't read it to know. I think we'll go pastel for Lord of the Rings and see where the pastel theme goes. That is very suitable. I mean, it doesn't have green rolling hills, but it's got hills. It's got like generic shapes of like some kind of fantasy-esque adventuring party. That is very, very suitable. Do you think it's a nice edition? Would this make an edition that you'd want to like own, you Lord of the Rings fans? Alice in Wonderland is next. I just really want to try this one because Alice in Wonderland, like everyone says, it's just basically a book about a girl getting high. So I want to try something really wacky. So for this one, we're gonna go vibrant with Alice in Wonderland and see where it goes. I'm guessing this was put in quite a few times. Because like I could see like some like little semblances. There's like the hat, there's like a vague thing that looks like the Disney version of Alice. This could work as an Alice in Wonderland looking cover. It could work. Okay, last one. I decided to do this one because my friend got it for me for my Secret Santa and it's literally the prettiest cover that I've owned and I want to see how it compares to Wombo.art. It's called Graceling. Let's just go no style for this one. Let's just like give it all the abilities. Give it like this, like all choice in the matter. Let's not pick a style. Let's go styleless. You can't beat the original cover of Graceling. I've literally got it down here. You cannot beat how beautiful this looks. So surprised in my life. I think I'm gonna cry. Well, that's that. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you are new around here. Ring that bell so you can find out when I post more creative content. I love the way that my designer did my cover for ASTER'S CODA Exposure. Wombo.art does not need to one-up it. You can buy it now down in the description. Follow Abby Taka as she deals with her family's blood feud across the 3 worlds. And be sure to look at my bio for my Instagram, my TikTok, my Fiverr, and my website. Stay creative, everybody, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.